Okay, so that's a very interesting question. So traditionally our heating industry in the UK has been dominated by domestic gas boilers. Obviously there is a drive now to decarbonise. Alpha want to be part of that solution. Our owners, Immorgas in Italy, have quite a large portfolio of renewable technology that we're now starting to bring into the UK. And the idea is that there's no single solution to helping domestic customers decarbonise. There's a range of products, and what we're looking to do is work with our installer partners to drive education to consumers to allow them to pick a solution that's suitable for them whilst reducing their energy bills and decarbonising. Okay, so obviously Alpha being a heating manufacturer, that's only one part of the solution. We can manufacture some great products that will drastically reduce carbon and get us on that journey to being carbon neutral as a country. But it needs to be bigger than that. If you're going to sell renewable technology, you have to embrace it yourself. So as a business, like all the businesses, we create carbon in our day-to-day work life, through our vans, our cars on the road, the energy that we use inside this building. So our Classroom Climate are quite good in the fact that they're helping educate us on how we can reduce our carbon emissions. And also as well, we're looking to not only train heating engineers, but there is a real requirement in the industry to get to the end user, to educate them, but more so their children. The future generations are the ones that are going to have to live in this world where the environment's not going to be very good. So we want to be part of that. So we just thought that the offer that OCC have will be able to help us to educate future generations. Okay, so currently at the moment there's, every time you look at the news, there's talk about, the effect that carbon emissions are having on the environment. We're on a journey now to reduce those emissions, and there's some big plans in place. Government are absolutely now on that trajectory to help us reduce carbon. But we really need to have the younger generation as part of that. So all the good work that's being done around the country at the moment with people embracing renewable technologies, looking how they live their life and reducing their carbon footprint. If that's going to be sustainable, you need to really start at a very young age, get that education piece out there, get our youngsters to understand what carbon emissions do, what effects it has on the environment, and what we can do. Even the very small things can have a massive impact on what we might be living with in the future. So currently at the moment, the heating industry is very male dominated. And I think you see, especially with youngsters coming through education now and coming into the workplace, we've got a real challenge to ensure that the heating industry is an attractive place to want to work. You can have a fantastic career with this industry. I'm 30 plus years in the industry. I love what I do. And we are now starting to see those signs, especially with women coming into the industry. There is a shift. Things like the digitalisation of the industry, you don't have to just work on the tools being a heating engineer. There are multiple jobs within this industry that can give you a really good career and a good standard of living. But I think there is a real challenge in especially bringing women into the industry. So I think that needs to be done again through education. If you get to the younger generation, explain to them about this industry, what a great career they can have, and show them the opportunities, that's one goal. But it's not an easy task, but we need to start now. So yeah, I mean, look, every time you turn the TV on at the moment, you look at the news, there's lots of messages coming out from lots of different platforms about the ways in which we live our life, the way that we can reduce our energy consumption. Very simple, basic things like, turning lights off when it's not needed, lowering your room temperature down, draft proofing your home, increasing your insulation levels. They're all very, very valid points, and I think most people have heard that message now. There are additional things you can do on top of that. If you just consider your heating system, which, it comes at a great expense to run, things like, getting your boiler serviced annually, making sure that it's running at its optimal level. making sure that you have a conversation with your gas engineer around the different technologies that are available, but more so with the existing technology that you have in your home, there are additional controls that you could potentially invest in that can have a huge impact on reducing your fuel consumption at a very low cost, just to optimize your heating system. You know, even things like slightly turning down the flow temperature can have a massive impact on your heating appliance. You know, most people now have an A-rated gas condensing boiler in their house, but it's only A-rated if it's controlled correctly and set up correctly. So my advice really would be that, you know, when you're having your appliance serviced every year by your gas engineer, have that conversation. Is my heating system optimized? Is there anything I can do to reduce my energy consumption?